Welcome back once again. It is the grim, dark future of the 41st millennium, and there is only war in Combat Patrol. Could someone please explain to me why we get the Terminators but no bases to put them on? And then the next issue you get bases and a couple more Terminators. We end up with guys who can't stand around because they've got little pegs on their feet to plug into the bases and no bases to plug them into. It's a little bit frustrating from my point of view, but perhaps that's just me. Let's get straight into the issue. We've got the Terminators here. I'll assemble one of those later on as an example. We have 5 Terminators and the Teleport Homer, part 1 of 2. So, of course, we won't have 5 Terminators and the Homer on this particular issue. So that's fine. Build the Space Marine Elite, Space Marine Doctrines, and Battle Shock tests. Battle Shock, we're getting into the more advanced side of the rules now. I like this. This is good stuff. Let's get straight in there. What have we got with the editorial? Terminator Assault Inbound. In this issue, you'll receive the first part of a unit of 5 Terminators. You'll be able to build and paint them when you get the rest of the unit. No, I'm going to build them now. Because I am contrary. Also, I've got all of them together because I get these in batches of 4, which is why we are a little bit behind. Well, one of the reasons. The other reason is that I was ill. For now, enjoy reading more background and honing your battlefield tactics. Happy hobbying. Yep, fair enough. So, we've got the guide to building them. This is a sergeant, okay. So, are the others not sergeants? Perhaps. They look the same to me. In fact, they all look the same to me because that's how they are. Yeah, decent step-by-step guide, not bad at all. So we've got some lore again. Tactical doctrine. Space Marines are no mere blunt instrument. That's true. If you ever read the books, and I highly recommend the Horus Heresy, especially the ones by Dan Abnett, really like how he writes. If you've ever studied history, the classics, you'll find stuff like the general philosopher emperor Marcus Aurelius, who philosophizes about things while going on massive and brutal campaigns to subdue other people and other groups of people. Yeah, that's the kind of people that the Space Marines are. They're philosopher generals and absolute nutcases on the battlefield. That's just how it is. Who's that guy? He looks cool. He's got a cape and a big helmet, and he does not look like the rest of the team. I want a character like that. He looks cool. I wonder if we'll get him. Is he one of them? One of the ones we're getting? I don't know. But anyway, let's move on because there's a bit of lore to read. And like we saw with the Tyranids in the previous issue, we now get to see some of the weird stuff that the Space Marines use. If you are in any way familiar with any of the games of Warhammer, or even the MB game stuff like Space Crusade back in the day. Oh, I loved Space Crusade when I was a kid. You'll remember some of these things. And we've got Lieutenant Titus from Space Marine. I love that game. Currently playing it for a review on Gamehammer Classic Gaming, so look out for that on my sister channel sometime soon. Then we get more about the stuff they use. Plasma pistols, bolt pistols, power sword or chain sword. Which would you prefer? A powerful sword with lots of energy fields going through it, or a freaking chainsaw with a handle and you... I think I know which one I wanted. It's that one because it's cool. They didn't have the power swords back when I was playing Space Crusade, so I remember chainsaws. Power fist. Ooh, get in there, yes. So we're now looking at Battle Shock. No, this is, like I said earlier, one of the more advanced parts of the rules. So, Battle Shock tests. It takes incredible willpower to hold firm in the face of heavy casualties. Even Space Marines may find their resolve shaken at times. Doesn't happen often, but it can happen. In Warhammer 40,000, this is represented by Battle Shock tests. When your units are below half strength, they risk becoming battle shocked for a turn and being less effective. So, we haven't covered that yet. I haven't run through that with any of the games that we've done so far, but it's here now. So, the Space Marine captain has suffered 3 wounds, indicated by the red wound markers, so he has 3 wounds remaining. He's not below half strength. However, now we've got something here where they've got a bit of a problem because they've lost 3 guys and there are only 2 now. 2 out of 5 definitely below half strength, and he's got 4 wounds out of 6, so he's below half strength as well. Now, here we are. Leadership, that's what the LD thing is. On the data slates that we've got with all the information about our guys that we've got in previous issues, there would be an LD or leadership statistic. And we haven't covered that yet. Just like the objective control we looked at in the previous issue, we haven't looked at leadership, so now we have. Both the captain and the Infernus squad here are considered below half strength and must take battle shock tests. The Space Marine player rolls a 9 for the Infernus Marines, which is a success. However, they only roll a 4 for the Space Marine captain, which is less than his leadership test. So we pass on that one and fail on that one. Every command phase, you must take a battle shock test for any of your units that are below half strength. So, does that mean that each turn, from the point that they're under half strength, we test for battle shock? Interesting. Battle shock and objective control. Okay, this is interesting. If a unit fails a battle shock test, that unit is battle shocked until the beginning of the next command phase, when it will likely need to take another battle shock test. So there you are. We get to answer the question that we had. Do we have to do this every turn? Yes. A unit that is battle shocked is always considered to have an objective control of 0. So, if your guys are battle shocked and they're contesting an objective, so we got our objective, and let's say this guy's our guy. He's there, but he's battle shocked. This guy comes in. Oh, they've got it now. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if he's got a higher objective control. Normally, according to his data sheet, doesn't matter because he's got battle shock. He's objective control 0. So even if there's one guy with an objective control of 1, he takes it. Pretty simple. I like that. Simple, straightforward. Keeps everything very easy to work out. Excellent. You take battle shock tests before scoring points for objectives for that turn. Good point there. Excellent. I like that. So battle shock right at the start. This is something that wasn't covered earlier when we were talking about advancing and falling back. I think it probably should have been covered with falling back, but it's here now, and that's what counts. Ordinarily, units may fall back from other units freely, so you can just pull back. However, battle-shocked units risk taking damage when they fall back, representing the perils of a disorganized rout, as opposed to carefully planned tactical withdrawal. That's why it's here now rather than with fallback. Okay, that's fine. Okay, I think it could have been put together in a nicer way, but I understand the piecemeal place of all of that. Okay, that's fine. When a battle-shocked unit falls back, roll a dice for each model in that unit. So, let's say you've got 2. You'd have to roll 2 dice, 1 for each. For each roll of 1 or 2, a single model in that unit is destroyed as it attempts to flee, regardless of how many wounds it has. Oh my goodness. So if you've got 2 guys and they've just become battle shocked, but they haven't taken any damage at all, because the guys that have just died and therefore put them in a situation where they had to have a battle shock test were the ones that took all of the damage, you could lose more guys by pulling them back. Ooh, that gets a bit tricky, doesn't it? That's interesting. I like that. I think it's great for showing how disorganized routes would actually work, because the enemy's going to be coming in and cutting through. But it adds a level of tactics that you might not have otherwise thought of. Because let's say you've got a couple of guys, and you've got, and I'm going to represent with this model tram, a big phalanx of enemies coming in at them, and they're not wounded, or maybe they're slightly wounded, and if you stay, they're probably going to die from the melee because these guys are pretty tough. Do you stay and probably die, or do you pull back and risk immediate death before they do anything else? Oh, that's interesting. That adds a level of tactics that is really nice. I really do like that. Okay, so let's get into the scenario itself, because that's going to play into this. Oh, I'm looking forward to this. So once again, we're back up with almost a complete combat patrol already, because, well, we're 12 issues in by this point, so of course we're getting near a full combat patrol. Got Termagants, Von Ryan Leapers, Winged Tyranid Prime and Barb Gaunts against the Infernus squad, Librarian in Terminator armor, and Captain in Terminator armor. So we've got the Librarian with his psychic powers going to kick some butts. Or are they? We've got 4 objectives this time. Oh, now we're getting somewhere with this. Haha! That's going to be fun. So what is this? In this mission, your aim is to capture and hold objectives. However, you'll have to contend with your unit's wavering morale in the face of the enemy. So They're expecting you to get battle shocked at this point. As you use the battle shock rules for the first time, find an opponent to play through this battle with or take command of both sides to practice. I'm going to be taking command of both sides as per standard for my reviews of these. However, I would like to at this point announce that we are doing a narrative campaign starting pretty soon with the Heart of Albion Legion against whatever comes as they campaign across the galaxy. So do watch out for that, and it will be possible for people to join in and help develop the narrative on that campaign, because I'm going to use either in-person people coming or me going to them to do battles and make battle reports, or just using a simple phone and like FaceTime or something like that, having it set up so that we can both see the battlefield and playing it out, where basically they would tell me where the people are moving, and then we'd do all the rolls and stuff like that. And I think that would be very interesting as well. So we're going to have different styles of battle report, and it's going to be very interesting. But for now, let's have a look at this. In this mission, you score victory points as follows: 5 for controlling 1 objective, 5 for controlling 2 objectives, 5 for controlling more than your opponent. So, once again, the same style as before. Let's give it a try. Welcome back to the game room, and today we are playing Scenario 8, Hold or Die. As you might be able to see, we have got a bit of a wider view this time. It is a wide-angle lens, but on the outside it's a little bit fuzzy, so it's not the best, but it'll do for the moment to give us a slightly wider field of view. We've got down here the barb gaunts, you can barely see them, wing Tyranid Prime, we've got the 3 Von Lions Leapers, and up here, barely see them, is the Termagants. On the Space Marine side, we have up here the Infernus Squad, the Librarian in Terminator armour, and we've got the Captain as well, the Space Marine Captain. We have 4 objectives on the board: 1, 2, 3, and 4. We've got our 2 complete cover markers so that we can't move into that area, but we can get around it and basically can't see or fire through it. So that's like complete cover. Oh, that's how we're playing it. In this mission, you score victory points as follows: 5 for controlling 1 objective, 5 for controlling 2 objectives, and 5 for controlling more objectives than your opponent. The player with the most points at the end of 5 battle rounds wins. Let's get straight into it. As is tradition, we're going to start by rolling dice to see who goes first. Blue for the Space Marines, purple for the Tyranids, and Space Marine and Tyranids have tied. Try again. Marines win. All we've got to do is keep our guys on objectives. This is going to be a bit of an issue for them, however, because we've got one major issue. The barb gaunts down here are able to shoot and keep people pinned down and really whittle down our guys. So, I think we need to start playing to our strengths. The Librarian, I'm going to keep him at the back as much as I can. So he's staying on this objective. He started on the objective, he's staying there. But the Captain, I want to start using for fights. So I think we need to move him. Captain's very good. He's got a very long range, and his relic weapon, once he actually gets into melee, is incredible. So, we're going to use his movement. He can't move that far, but he can start moving. So we're going to move him as 5 inches to that. And his range for his gun is 24 inches, so he's definitely in range of the barb gaunts. So he is going to be shooting them in the shooting phase, but we haven't got to the shooting phase yet, so we don't need to worry too much about that right now. Meanwhile, the Librarian, we're going to stick with him where he is and leave him there, because his range is also 24 inches, which means that everything is within range. Like seriously, everything's in range already for him. He can just attack without having to move. However, the Infernus Squad, their range is only 12 inches, so let's do something about that. Let's move our Infernus Squad onto this objective to get the second objective marker that we need. So they've got a move of 6 inches. So let's move them 6 inches. Perfectly on the marker. There we go. They're okay. That is the end of our movement phase. Now we're into shooting. Okay. Are we within range? No. No, we're not. We're just out of it, which is unfortunate. We will be in range next round, though. However, Librarian over there, he very much is. So, Librarian is going to go straight for it. At this point, I'm not going to use a Stormbolter. I'm considering his Smite skill, Witchfire or Focused. The focused one would give more attack, but we can't really go for that because it is hazardous to him. And at this point, we're not desperate enough to try that. So I'm going to say we just go for standard Smite, and we're doing it on the Von Ryan's Leapers because those guys are devastating. They are I know all the instructions say their Winged Tyranid Prime is the most ferocious and problematic member of that group, but those guys will mess us up. So we're going for them. He gets D6 attacks. So, D6 attacks on the Von Ryan's Leapers. Let's do this. How many attacks does he get? He gets 3 attacks this time, and a ballistic skill of 3+. So let's do this. Every single one of them hit. These ones don't have devastating wounds, which would have come into play if that 6 had been there if we'd used Focus Witchfire, but we didn't. We used a normal one. So strength of 5 against the Von Ryan's Leapers, toughness of 5 means that they wound on a 4+. So let's see how he goes. 2 of them have wounded. Armor penetration is -1, so the Von Ryan's Leapers save of 4+ is now a 5+. Let's see if they can save these. Neither of them saved, which means we get D3 damage on both. So let's see what they get. Okay, a 1 and a 2. So we get 3 damage. Well, a Von Ryan's Leaper has a wound of 3. So 3 damage straight to him. One of the Leapers is down. Meanwhile, the Captain has a 24-inch range as well. And he's aiming for these barb gaunts. Can he reach them? Yes, he can. We're taking out the barb gaunts because the massive amount of damage they can do to our guys, we've shown that so many times. So, how many attacks does he get? He gets 2 attacks, and his ballistic skill is 2+. So he's hit on both. We have a strength of 4 against the barb gaunts, toughness of 4, so they wound on a 4+. One of them is wounded, only one. Now, he doesn't have armor penetration, so we use the standard toughness. We use the standard saving throw of 4+ for the barb gaunts. And they did not save. So, how many damage? He only does 1 damage. There we go. He's got 1 point of damage. Not bad. Not bad at all. It's a shame that we can't do anything with the Inferno Squad, but we're not going to charge them into battle, that's for sure. The last thing we need is to lose that objective. We missed one thing out at the start though, didn't we? We were already on an objective, so at the start on the command phase we should have given ourselves 5 points. Okay, are we charging? Well, the Captain could. He's very devastating in his attacks if he charges. But we've already established that he's outside of a 12-inch move. So he can't charge. Which means no fighting this round. We're just going straight to the Tyranids. Okay, so start the Tyranids move. Turn, they have 1 objective. They don't have more objectives than the opposition because, oh look, the Space Marines are now on 2. So the Tyranids start their round with 5 points. So, first things first, let's have a look at the battlefield. We're going to need to do some pretty drastic moves. We need either that guy or those guys off those objectives. We have an issue though. The Winged Tyranid Prime, he doesn't have any ranged attacks. He only has melee. And the Von Ryan's Leapers also only have melee. So what I'm thinking of doing is flying him over to attack those guys. I think that's our best move for the Tyranid Prime. He has a range of 12 inches. This is a risk. 12 inches. He is now very close to them, but can't quite get there yet. But that's okay. Meanwhile, our Von Ryan's Leapers have a 10-inch move, and they need to get somewhere as well. So I'm going to bring those down here. 10-inch to there. And 10-inch gets it to there. There we go. So they're down here now. We've got that objective. The Termagants, again, because this is about objectives and controlling as many as we can, the Termagants are going to move, but the Barbed Gaunts are not. The Barbed Gaunts are staying put, specifically because of their blast and heavy weapon on range. If we leave them where they are, it's a better attack. So, we're going to move the Termagants. These are really good for objective control, so let's see how far we can get those. Termagants have a 6-inch move, which means we don't quite get onto this. But next turn, we will be on this objective. So we are playing the long game, and that's just how it is. Okay, everyone who's going to move has moved. Tyranids are now placed in a better position to counter the Space Marine Captain and also go for the Infernus squad. We now move to the firing phase. So, Termagants, they have an 18-inch range for fire. We need to get that guy and those guys off those things. So, can they do it? The Termagants have line of sight and looking straight at us, but do they have the range? They have an 18-inch range and that's 13 inches, so I'm going to say yes, they do have that. So we're going to fire with the Termagants first. They have 1 attack per, and there's 10 of them, so they get 10 attacks. Their ballistic skill is 4+, so they hit on a 4+. 8 misses, but 2 rather nice hits there. So they have a strength of 5 against the Infernus squad's toughness of 4, which means they wound on a 3+, but that's quite nice. One of them has wounded. No armor penetration, so we go with the standard saving throw for an Infernus Marine of 3+. Let's see if the Marines can save. They do. So no damage this time. Not bad. Now, we need those Infernus Marines off that thing. So, Barbed Gaunts are up next. Their range is 24 inches, so are they in range? Yes, very much so. So, Barbed Gaunts have blast and heavy. So we're going to look up blast and heavy in our rules. With heavy weapons, if they're stationary, we add 1 to hit rolls for every heavy weapon the unit wielding them has, if they haven't moved. They have not moved, so instead of their ballistic skill being 4+, they now hit on a 3+. So let's do that. They get D6 attacks per guy, and there's 5 guys. So 2, 6, 11, 13, 14 attacks. And because they haven't moved, they hit on a 3+. 9 hits, that's not bad at all. 9 hits. So their strength is 5 against the Infernus squad's toughness of 4. So they wound on a 3+. Wounding on a 3+. One of them jumped out, so... Right. Every single one of those is wounded. Not bad at all, not bad. But of course it's blast. They get an additional attack. They get an additional attack. We didn't do the additional attack because it's a blast weapon. Okay, there's 5 of them, they get an additional attack. Okay, we're going to put these aside. They're the wounds that we got so far. They're the wounds that we got so far. We have 5 more. Sorry about that. 5 more attacks on a 3+. So those 2 didn't hit. There we go. So strength of 5 against toughness of 4 means that they wound on a 3+. And only one of them actually hit in, so there we go. Bring back in the others to give us 10 potential wounds. No armor penetration, so we go with the standard saving throw of 3+. Let's see how well the Infernus squad are going to hold up. 10 to save on a 3+. All of the others saved. Not bad. Not bad at all. So take those out. There's the two that didn't save, because I did that wrong, unfortunately. Damage of 1 per, so we got 2 wounds got through. How many wounds does an Inferno squad member have? 2, so one of them is down. Take one of the guys from the back. There we go, so we're whittling them down already. That's pretty good going. Termagants have shot, Barbgons have shot, the others can't shoot, so now we go into the charge phase. Well, we absolutely need to deal with the captain and the Inferno squad, so we're going to have the Von Minesleepers attempt to charge. They're going to need 11 in order to charge. So, can they do it? 2d6, can they make an 11? No. So their charge is over, their fighting turn won't happen. This guy, the Winged Tyranid Prime, he needs to get in and attack. He needs 2 inches. Can he make it? Yes. I think we already knew he could, but you know. So, he's charging in. Winged Tyranid Prime. He has a deep strike ability and he doesn't have fights first. So, since he ran in, we check on the other guys, the Inferno squad. They do not have fights first either, so Tyranid Prime fights first. He's got 6 attacks hitting on a 2+. Let's see how many attacks he's going to actually hit. One of them came out. So we know the rules. There we go. He has a strength of 5 against the toughness of the Inferno squad of 4, so he wounds on a 3+. Okay, one of them wounded. Armor penetration -1, so the standard Inferno save of 3+ now becomes a 4+. Can they save against his attack? No. No, they can't. And 2 damage. Well, that's another guy down because they only have 2 wounds. Now, the other side get to fight. So let's have a pile in. And they're going in with their melee attack. The Inferno squad are now in melee. They're going to have a bit of an issue, aren't they? They get 3 attacks each. There's 3 of them, so we get 9 attacks. Weapon skill of 3+. So, 6 hits. 6 hits is not bad. A strength of 4 against a toughness of 5 means they wound on a 5+. This is not going to look good for them, is it? Okay. One of them wounded. We need a save. There's no armor penetration, so the Tyranid Prime saves on a 4+. And he doesn't save. So 1 damage gets through. He has 6 wounds, so he's doing okay. He is damaged, but he's doing okay. And to those of you who are really upset that I'm marking wounds taken rather than wounds remaining, unfortunately for you guys, that's what all the rule books say. It's just how it is these days, can't help it. That's the end of the Tyranid's turn. So since we've got there, I'll just use that as a turn marker. We're now on round 2. Space Marines are up. First of all, they have 1 objective that is clearly under their control over here. This one, however, is contested. So, we have an objective control on the Inferno squad of 1 compared to the objective control of the Tyranid Prime of 1. So, 3 Infernus against 1 Tyranid Prime is 3-1, which means the Space Marines have that objective. So, 5 points for having 1 objective. 5 points for having 2 objectives. And right now, they control more objectives than the other side. But do they? This Barbgon is partly on that. We're going to make a ruling that he's on that. So they actually have an equal number of objectives at the moment. So Space Marines only get 10 points to take them up to 15. First of all, are we moving? Yes, the captain is moving. Space Marines captain has a move of 5 inches. He's still not within range. Still not within range of that objective, but he's getting closer. He is the only one who's going to be moving this turn, so that's the movement phase over. Now we're going into shooting. Space Marine Captain is going to shoot those Von Minesleepers. He has a range of 24 inches, and he's well within it. So he's going straight in. He gets 2 attacks, and he hits on a 2+. 1 is hit. His strength is 4 against the von Reinsleeper's toughness of 5, which means he wounds on a 5+. That's not great, but we'll see how it goes. He's wounded. Excellent. No armor penetration, so we go with the standard Leaper's save of 4+. And they save. Not bad. Next up, the librarian over here. He's firing at these von Reinsleepers. That's not a great situation, but what can I do? I need to try and keep this subjective. So, using his smite ability, he has a range of 24 inches, which is well within what we've got there. D6 attacks. How many attacks will he be getting on these Leapers? Please say it's a large amount. We need to get rid of them. 2. He's got 2 attacks against the Leapers. Not the best, but not the worst. Now, he has a ballistic skill of 3+, so he's going to hit on a 3+ with 2 attacks. He is hit once. Not great, but we'll see if he can make it work. Strength 5 against a toughness of 5, so he wounds on a 4+. He's wounded. Armor penetration of -1, so the save that the Leapers would normally have of 4+ is now a 5+. Can they save? They can! The Leapers are incredibly lucky today. Wow. The Inferno squad's up. They're the only ones left. Can they save themselves? Well, here's the thing. They have pistols, which means they can fire into melee. So, 3 of them with 1 attack each means 3 attacks with a hit of 3+. So 3 attacks hitting on a 3+. They've got 2 hits. Their strength is 4 against the Tyranid Prime's toughness of 5, so they wound on a 5+. One of them has managed to wound. They have no armor penetration, so he saves on a 4+. Let's see if the Tyranid Prime can save. He can't. How many damage? 1 damage. So now he's got 2 damage in total. There we go. 2 damage out of 6 wounds. So he's still got 4. He's 2/3 of his hit points left. Not bad. I just realised the Stormbolter has rapid fire too. I should have been doing that, but I didn't. So let's try and remember that for next time. The Stormbolter that the captain is using should have been shooting more, but, you know, he's within range and I forgot. I'm not going back to reroll. Shooting phase over. We're charging. Who's charging? Well, only one person. It is vitally important that the librarian stays where he is. His psychic powers can hit anywhere on this battlefield. So, he needs to stay here, control that objective, and shoot with his smite abilities. The Inferno squad can't go anywhere, because if they fall back, it gives him a line of attack, and we'll lose that objective. The captain's the only one that's going to charge. He's going to go for the von Reinsleepers. He needs 6 inches. He needs a 6-inch charge. Can he get it? 2d6. He gets it. He's now into the battle range. Move this down here. No one's down there, so we can probably leave that there for the moment. Okay, so he's now in range. He doesn't have fights first, but the von Reinsleepers do. So they're fighting first. They're going to have their first attacks. Now, at this point, we need to pile in. I've got 3 inches to move, so they're both there. I'm going to try and turn them. It's the worst thing with the Tyranids. They're so spiky. There we go. They kind of fit. Okay, there we go. Neither of them is wounded, so we don't have to worry about anything coming with them. That's okay. So, they've got 6 attacks each, and that's why we needed to try and get some of these gone before we did this. 2 of them left, 12 attacks. They hit on a 3+. 8 of them managed to hit. That's not bad at all. Strength of 5 against a toughness of 5, so they wound on a 4+. They've managed to get 4 wounds. They've got an armor penetration of -1 against the captain's saving throw of 2+, which means that he saves those 4 wounds on a 3+. So let's see how we get on. We have a save on 3+, which means that one didn't save, the others did. So, how many damage got through? 1 damage got through. The captain has 6 wounds, which means he has 5 left. He's taken 1 damage. Not a great situation for him, but at least he's now in the melee. So he gets 6 attacks. And he hits with his relic sword on a 2+. That one did not hit. So 5 hits. Not bad at all. He has a strength of 5 against their toughness of 5, so he wounds on a 4+. Can he do it? Can he wound? 2 wounds got through. His armor penetration is -2, so their save, instead of being 4+, is now 6+. They need a 6 to save. They got a 6, but not with that one. So, 1 got through. 1 wound got through. His damage is 2. One Ryan's Leapers have 3 wounds. So, one of them is almost dead. There we go. Right. Next fight. The Infernus squad is going in on the Winged Tyranid Prime. Winged Tyranid Prime does not have fights first, but will get to fight. So, Infernus squad, let's see how they get on. They have close combat weapons. I think it's their daggers, probably. 3 attacks each. There's 3 of them, so they get 9 attacks. And they hit on a 3+. Let's see how they do. 4 hits, not bad at all. Infernus squad have strength of 4 against the Winged Tyranid Prime's toughness of 5, so they wound on a 5+. It's not looking good for them, but let's see how it goes. 5+. 2 of them didn't wound, but 2 of them did. So they have no armor penetration. He saves on his standard 4+. And one of them saved, but one of them did not. So, how many damage do? They do 1. He's now on 3. He is now at half health. That is very important, because remember, we're doing Battle Shock. And he is the first one to be less than half unit strength. So, at the end of that particular bit, the Winged Tyranid Prime is now going to fight, and then after that, the turn will move to Tyranids, and he has to take a Battle Shock test. He has 6 attacks. Let's see how he can do. His massive claws are going to come in. His prime talons, they're called. He is using them and hits on a 2+. 4 hits, not bad at all. Strength of 6 against the Infernus toughness of 4, which means, oh my goodness, he wounds on a 3+. I don't know why I said oh my goodness, I thought it was a bit better than that, but no. He wounds on a 3+. Those 2 didn't wound, but the other 2 did. So 2 wounds got through. Armor penetration -1, so this save for the Infernus squad is now 4+. Can they save? No, neither saved. 2 damage each, and they only have 2 wounds, which means 2 of their guys are down. Now the tables have turned, because we have a big issue here. The Infernus squad is now well below half strength, so they have to take a battle test, and no one can get in and help them unless the librarian moves. We are going to lose one of these objective controls. That's a big thing, but what can we do? Here we go. Right, Tyranid's turn. So, first Battle Shock. The Winged Tyranid Prime needs to be Battle Shock tested. We do this by rolling 2d6 and comparing it to the leadership value. If it equals or beats it, then he's not Battle Shocked. His leadership is 7+. So 2d6, he needs 7+. He gets it, so he's not Battle Shocked. Good for him. Right, let's have a check on the situation, shall we? We have this one that's holding that objective, and those are going to come in to secure it later. We have this one and this one under contest. Now, they're both on leadership of 1, so that one is out of running. There's no problem with that. Neither has got it. However, Captain Terminator has objective control of 1, and the Von Rise Leapers have an objective control of 1, but there's 2 of those, so 2 to 1, they have this. So they have 5 points for that, and 5 points for that. And since that one is now in contest, they also get 5 points for the fact that the Space Marines only have 1 objective. So that's 15 points. Putting them on 20 to the Space Marines 15. Not a bad situation, I think you'll agree. Let's do the shooting round. Who's going to shoot? Well, the Barb Gaunts can't shoot him, because he's in melee. They can't shoot him because he's in melee, so they're going to attack the librarian. Now, got to remember, they've got a blast weapon, so for every 5 models in the target unit, add 1 to the attack. There is only 1 in the target unit, we don't add anything. But heavy is good, because these guys haven't moved, no one's moving. No, they are! We're not going to the firing phase, we're going to the moving phase. These guys are moving! Of course! Their Terminators have got a 6-inch move, which means they can get right on the objective, and I can just do that. Doesn't matter where they go, there you go. Termagants are now on the objective. So we ran out of card again, I'm just going to adjust the camera once more. So we've got the Termagants now, they've moved onto here, we're into the firing round. The Barbgonts down here are going to be attacking the Librarian. They haven't moved, so they get a plus to their hit roll, but there's only 1 in the unit, so they don't get the extra attacks. They just get d6 attacks per guy, there's 5 of them, so we get 5d6. 3, 9, 13, 18 attacks. And since they haven't moved with their heavy ability, instead of hitting on a 4+, they hit on a 3+. So 18 attacks on a 3+. This is going to be quite something. 15 hits. That's quite something. I don't see how the Librarian is going to be able to hold up from this. Strength of 5 against his toughness of 5 means they wound, on a 4+. This is going to be something. 11 wounds. Not bad. They have no armor penetration, so the Librarian saves on a 2+, which he's going to need because that's a lot of wounds. If he misses them all, he's dead. Let's see how it goes. They could take him out here. He's saving on a 2+. Oh my goodness, he's saved all of them. The Librarian lives to fight another day. That's quite something. Do the Termagants have a rate? They have an 18-inch range. Can the Termagants actually hit the Librarian? No. They haven't even got line of sight, so it wouldn't even matter. So that's out. Okay, we're not charging anywhere. All the ones that are going to move are moved. Barbgonts aren't charging. Termagants need to stay there to keep this objective. No one's moving. No one's charging. So we're going straight to the fights phase. We might as well do the Von Rhein's Leapers first. They do fight first, so 6 attacks each, and there's 2 of them, so 12 attacks. And they hit on a 3+. Okay, so that's 7 hits. Not bad. Their strength is 5 against the captain's toughness of 5, so they wound on a 4+. Okay, they wound on a 4+. So 3 wounds got through. They have -1 on armor penetration, so his save, instead of being 2+, is now 3+. Let's see if the captain can save himself from this attack. Yes, he's managed to save, so that's good. He's okay. But now he gets to fight back, so he's going to use his massive sword. Let's see how he does. 6 attacks, hitting on a 2+. I think he can work with that. Strength of 5 against their toughness of 5, so he wounds on a 4+. Only 1 wound got through. He has a armor penetration -2, so their save of a 4+ becomes a 6+. Let's see if they can save. They did not save. How many damage did he do? 2 damage. Well, this guy has already got 1 wound, so he's gone. Second guy has 1 damage. Okay, Captain's holding his own. Not bad, not bad. Winged Tyranid Prime, however, is going to probably attack that guy and slice into pieces. So that's the next fight. Winged Tyranid Prime, he's got his Prime Talons, which give him 6 attacks, hitting on a 2+. Okay, every single one of those is hit. This is not a good start against the Infernus Marine, is it? Well, from the Tyranid's point of view, it's a great start, but the Space Marines might disagree. Strength of 6 against the Infernus guy's toughness of 4 means that they wound on a 3+. Every single one of those is wounded. Oh my goodness. I think this may be the end of our Infernus squad. Armor penetration of -1 on a saving throw of 3+ means that the Infernus guy saves on a 4+. He needs all of these. He really does. Because if he gets 2 damage, he's dead. 4 damage. Each one is damage of 2. He's just taken 8 hits. Our guy here doesn't need to take a battle shock test because he's dead. He is absolutely eviscerated, and now the Tyranids control those 3. The tables have turned at the end of round 2. Very much so. Oh dear. We go into round 3. This is an all or nothing battle now. So, at the start of the round, no one needs to take any battle shock tests. Space Marines control this. What's the leadership here? Von Minesleepers have objective control of 1 against a Captain and Terminator's armor objective control of 1, which means that's in contest. They don't have 2, they don't have more than the opponents, they get 5 points. So, can the captain shoot? The captain does not have a pistol, so no one's shooting in this little bit here. However, that needs to go. Librarian's going to try and take him out. So, we are going to now use a focused Witchfire Smite. Devastating wounds, hazardous and psychic. So, weapons with devastating wounds have a chance to bypass your opponent's armor completely. Each time you cause a critical wound by rolling a 6 on the to-wound save, no save rolls may be made against that attack, including invulnerability saves. This is an all-or-nothing thing because this one's hazardous. It could hurt the guy himself. And if it does, and he actually fails his save on that, he will be battle shocked next round. So, we're getting D6 attacks on the Winged Tyranid Prime. 6 attacks. We get to attack 6 times on a 3+. So we hit on a 3+. 6 attacks hitting on a 3+. Well, that's terrible because 4 of them missed. This is not looking good for the Space Marines. So, devastating wounds now come in. We've got a strength of 6 against the Tyranids Prime's toughness of 5, so they wound on a 3+. And remember, if any of these roll 6, there's no save on that one. Well, that didn't matter either way. Wounding on a 3+. 1 got through. Okay, 1 got through. That's okay. We can deal with this. -2 on armor penetration, so the save now becomes 6+. Didn't save. How many wounds do we get? D3. Remember, we just need 3 wounds and he's dead. So if I roll a 5 or a 6, that guy's down. Oh, 1 wound. He's very, very lucky. He's still got 2 left. But that does mean he's now battle shocked again. So he has to have a battle shock test. Well, he had to have one anyway, but it's like, he's still going. So that's our shoots round. No one moved. No one's charging. Actually, hang on. We've missed one thing. We've missed one thing before we go any further. Because our use of the focused Witchfire is hazardous. And we all know we have to roll a d6. If we roll a 1, he gets hurt. And this dice does roll 1s. 2! He's okay! He's okay! Now, we have a question. Do we move the Librarian? Do we move him in to attack? At this point, we can't win on objectives. We have to try and take that guy out. We have to take him out. So, the Librarian is going to attempt to charge. He's going to charge the Tyranid Prime. We need 6. We need a 6-inch charge. If he charges, that's great. We get to attack the Prime again. We only need 2 damage. He got it. 6-inch charge. Right. Okay. So, we're into the fighting round because this guy wasn't charging anyway down here, the captain. So, we're now into the fights round. Let's resolve the fight from the charge first. The Captain in Terminator armor does not have fights first. The Winged Tyranid Prime does not have fights first. So, Captain, has he charged? he gets to go first. He gets 4 attacks with his Force Axe and hits on a 3+. Let's do this. He missed 3 of them, but 1 got through. 1 could be enough. Probably won't be, but it could be enough. Strength of 6 against toughness of 5. He wounds on a 3+. He didn't wound. Well, that. Okay, well, no one can shoot at him now, so at least there's that. Oh, my goodness. The Space Marines, the dice do not like the Space Marines. Right, Captain now no, the Winged Tyranid Prime now gets to fight. He's got 6 attacks. His Prime Talons are attacking 2+ to hit. Let's go. 4 hits. He has a strength of 6 against a toughness of 5, so he wounds on a 3+. All but 1 have wounded. So that's 6 potential wounds. On penetration -1, so the Librarian in Terminator armor now saves on a 3+. 2 of them he saved. 1 of them he did not. Damage of 2, and Librarian has 5 wounds, so he's down to 3. This was a bad move. It was like an all or nothing thing, and unfortunately it has not worked out for the Space Marines. Captain's up. Captain is now going to unleash his Relic Sword again with 6 attacks on this lone guy. 6 attacks. He hits on a 2+, which means 4 have hit. Not bad for him, not bad at all. So, strength of 5 against the Leaper's toughness of 5 means he wounds on a 4+. Okay, so 3 did not wound. This is not looking good for him. This is not looking good for him at all. Armor penetration -2, so their save is now 6+. They do not make the save. He gets 2 damage. This guy's only got 2 wounds left. He's down. The Leapers are finally down. The end of the Space Marine's 3rd turn. They are in serious trouble. Tyranids are now up. Right, we need a battle shock test. This guy has potential to be battle shocked. He has leadership of 7+. So, he needs 7 or more on 2d6, otherwise he's battle shocked. He doesn't get it. He's got 5. Okay, so he's failed his battle shock test. What does that actually mean for him? If a unit fails a battle shock test, that unit is battle shocked until the beginning of the next command phase, when it will likely need to take another battle shock test. Yes, a unit that is battle shocked is always considered to have an objective control of 0, regardless of what that unit's stat sheet says. A battle shocked unit may never contest an objective. Right, so he's not under objective control. He can't control the objective. This changes everything, because he remains battle shocked. So until the next turn for the Tyranids, which means on the Space Marine's turn, he has no objective control. This changes a lot. Okay, we've got an interesting situation here, because now that is no longer under contest. That is controlled by the Space Marines. That is controlled by the Space Marines. That is the only one that the Tyranids have. They only have 5 points, which means they're now on 25 to the Space Marines 20, and potentially have a big issue. They could lose. So we need to do something now. We need to do it drastically. Are the Tyranids going to move? Well, these guys do their best work when they're just shooting, and he's within range, so they're not going to move. These guys, the Termagants, it doesn't actually matter whether they're fighting or not in terms of how many attacks they get, but their strength in a melee attack is much lower than with their range, so they shouldn't move either. But we need to contest that, so they're going to have to try and... They all have to go all in, seriously all in, to get that guy off that objective control. So, they're going to shoot and they're going to shoot. No one is moving. Termagants are up first. They have 10 attacks with their ranged assault weapons. Give me 1 second to work out what assault does. I don't think it's going to do anything for us at the moment. That just means that they can fire on the move. That's fine. They're just going to do 10 attacks because they get 1 attack each and still 10 of them hitting on a 4+. 10 attacks hitting on a 4+. One came out. Okay, 8 hits, that's not bad. 8 hits. Their strength is 5 against the captain's toughness of 5, so they wound on a 4+, not bad, not bad. Could be better, but could be a lot worse. They wound on a 4+. 2 wounded, not bad at all. Okay, so how are they doing? They are 0 armor penetration, so he saves on a 2+. And one of them did not save. So, one got through, 1 damage, which means that the captain is now on 2 points. He has 6 wounds, so he's not battle shocked. But 1 more and he would be. So, Barbgons, let's see what you could do. Well, he's only 1 person, so they don't get the extra attacks, but they do still get the heavy because they did not move. So, they have D6 attacks per guy, and there's 5 of them. 5d6. 4, 7, 9, 15, 19. Okay, 19 attacks. And because they haven't moved, their ballistic skill, instead of being 4+, is now 3+, so they hit on a 3+. 11 hits, not bad at all. Okay, strength of 5 against toughness of 5, so they wound on a 4+. 11 hits, wounding on a 4+. 5 managed to get through, that's pretty good. 5 wounds, so they have no armor penetration, which means that the captain saves on a 2+, and he's going to need it. 2 did not save. This is not good news for the captain. This is not good news for him at all. They do a damage of 1 per. They've got 2, so they do 2 damage. The captain will now have to take a battle shock test. He's got 4 wounds out of 6. 2 more wounds and he's dead. Okay, the shooting phase is over. The only people that are fighting, Winged Tyranid Prime and the Librarian. Winged Tyranid Prime, he has his Prime talents and he gets 6 attacks with them, hitting on a 2+. Hitting on a 2+, every single one is hit. This is good for the Tyranids. So, strength of 6 against a toughness of 5 means he wounds on a 3+. He could do quite badly here or quite well. Wounding on a 3+. 3 wounds. So, his Tyranid Prime armor penetration is -1 on a save of 2+. So now the Librarian saves on a 3+. 1 didn't save. Okay. Tyranid Prime, damage of 2 per. Librarian has 5 wounds, but he's already taken 3, so the Librarian is down. Tides have turned at the end of round 3. The tides have definitely turned. Space Marines are up. They've got a bit of an issue now, because even when they've got a battle-shocked Tyranid, Winged Tyranid Prime, they still can't control more objectives than the opponent. He controls 1. That doesn't count because that's an objective control of 0 right now. So 1 for the Tyranids as well, which means he only gets 5 points because he doesn't control more than the opponent team. So, what's he going to do? Well, I think it's very important that he moves. Not for getting off this objective, but because if he moves to here, he can see that Tyranid Prime. And we could potentially take that. It's a very long shot, but it might be worth it. At this point, it's not a question of whether the Space Marines can win, but they can make sure that that battle-shocked Tyranid Prime does not become un-battle-shocked by killing it. The captain has a 5-inch move. He's not going to need that. He's going to need 1 inch. He's moving to there. And down that line, he can see the Tyranid Prime. Movement over. He's shooting. The captain is going to use his Storm Bolt at range 24 inches. That is 12 inches. So, he has Rapid Fire 2. Rapid fire weapons fire additional shots when they are within half their maximum range. His maximum range is 24 inches. They're 12 inches away. That's halfway. So, 12 inches or less, he gets extra attacks, which means instead of having 2 attacks, he gets 4. He gets to attack 4 times. So, 4 attacks with his Storm Bolter using Rapid Fire 2, hitting on a 2+. Okay, 1 of them didn't hit, but 3 did. That's good news. So, strength of 4 against Tyranid Prime's toughness of 5. He wounds on a 5+. It's not great, but it's something. 1 of them managed to wound. His armor penetration is 0 for this, so we're going off a save of 4+. Save is not made. 1 damage. The Tyranid Prime has 1 wound left. 12 inches. Let's see if he can charge. I want to take that guy down. I want to take him down. It's as simple as that. Can we take him down? No. So he's stuck there. Okay, no fights. That's the end of the Space Marines round. So, Tyranids are now up. Battle shocked. No one else is. He should have had a battle shock test. Sorry, he should have had a battle shock test. Sorry about this. Leadership is 6+. That's okay, he got it. Okay, Tyranid Prime. Leadership of 7+. He's hit it. He's not battle shocked. This is exactly what I was trying to avoid when it was the Space Marines' turn. Tyranids now have 5 points for 1 and 5 points for 2, and they control more than the Space Marines, so 5 points for that as well. Which means they're now on 40 points to the Space Marines' 25. I don't think the Space Marines can win. Movement phase. They're not moving because they shoot better than they attack. Barbgons aren't moving because they get a better attack. He's over here now. That's just how it works. Flying, it gets you over terrain without a problem. So, we now have to decide, is he shooting? Well, he is 1 dice away. I'm going to say he's able to shoot, but he can't because he has no melee. So, shooting round. Let's go for the termagants. Oh dear, now they're blocked. They can't see the captain, so they can't shoot. Well, they're out. Barbgons, however, can. Barbgons can see him. They haven't moved. He's only 1 unit, so they don't get the extra attacks, but they do get the reduced amount on their hit roll because they haven't moved. So, Barbgons, they get D6, and there's 5 of them still, so 5d6. And what I'm really getting from this is that we should have taken the Barbgons out earlier. They have done so much damage, more than anyone else really, for pinning things down. 5d6. So, 6, 12, 17, 21 attacks. And they hit on a 4+. No, they don't, because they haven't moved, so they hit on a 3+. 16 managed to get through. That's a pretty good, pretty devastating attack. Their strength is 5 against the captain's toughness of 5, so they hit on a 4+. It's a lot of attacks hitting on a 4+. I think this might be the time when it's all over. 8 got through. Not bad. So, no armor penetration, so the captain saves on a 2+. He's going to need it because he's pretty much dead. Oh dear. This is getting quite bad for him. Saves on a 2+. 1, 2, 3 did not save. Now here's the thing. He's on 4. He's on 4 wounds out of 6. So, with the damage of 1, he is now dead. The captain is down. The Space Marines are eliminated. Tyranid victory. So there we go. I thought that was pretty good as well. Quite a harried battle because, well, you'd expect that, wouldn't you? There's a lot of stuff going on. Quite complex. At this point, we're starting to get into the proper meat of a battle with Warhammer, so they're starting to take longer, and it's still fun to play. I'm really enjoying this. It was a lot of fun. But we do, of course, have to get right to the end of all of this, where it's talking about the turns. And you can see the size of the turns are starting to get far more complicated as we go on, because it is getting to be almost the full thing now. But we did get a Tyranid victory, so we have to see what happens for them. The Tyranids have overwhelmed the Space Marines. As soon as the area is secure, the hive mind directs the swarm into an all-out attack. These simple bioforms no longer have any purpose, and they will serve as a valuable distraction. The Space Marines fight desperately, but it is too late. In this battle, the Tyranids have won. Yeah, brilliant, great issue, really enjoyed it. Good to see that we're getting the full meat and potatoes of the actual core combat rules now. This is really nice. Again, got an advert at the end for combat patrols and all the other stuff from Warhammer. Then next time we can finally get the bases for the Terminators so we can actually put them together properly. Then in the issue after that we get some interesting paints. Screamer Pink. Now that is not one I expected to see so early. I did think we'd get it at some point because there are demons and things like that, but pink this early? I suppose you could use it on Tyranids for the tongues and things like that. I've always used red, like blood-drenched red, but who knows. And then we have Rakarth Flesh. So is this for covering Tyranids as well? Interesting, because neither of these are in the starter set of paints that I got when I bought my starter set from Warhammer. So I'm going to look forward to seeing what they do with those. But for now, yeah, excellent issue. Really enjoyed this. Looking forward to seeing what we get next time. And there you go. I hope you enjoyed that. Still pretty good. I'm enjoying the magazine so far, and I hope to continue. For now, I hope you have liked it. If you have, remember to click that like button, share it with your friends so that they'll know a good magazine when they see it, and do subscribe for future videos, because there will be more in the future. But until next time, I've been Zoe Kirk Robinson. You've been watching WarGame Hammer Wargaming. Bit of a mouthful, I know. But take care, I'll see you later. If you like the show, please consider supporting me on Patreon. It really does help create future videos. That's patreon.com/Zoe Kirk Robinson. And I've got an extra special thanks going out to Chief89, Sam Yates, Retro Mickey 82, Mo Henry, and George Bortorini. Thank you so much, guys.